Hi, my name's Samantha. I'm a doctoral candidate at the University of Toronto, OISE. So if we're thinking about women in male-dominated fields, I feel that many of the challenges that women face are not necessarily challenges that come up once they've hit the actual workplace, but more thinking about like what is the pedagogy that women are exposed to and what is the experience of education we have and how are we socially conditioning women to think about their careers. So if we think about this a little bit more, like we still have a bias towards teaching boys math and science and often helping roles and professions related to helping or care work are pathologized towards women. Again, we still see kind of more of a discourse towards women picking careers or roles that would be able to support their families, whereas men are conditioned to kind of look towards more ambitious or more self-isolating careers. So I see this as being an issue in actually like physically getting to the workplace. And then I feel like once a woman gets to the workplace, we kind of have this issue of like, again, they're often positioned into predominantly or stereotypically female roles, whether that's because they've had different education or they've been socialized differently. There's lots of other things I could pontificate about around this, but so we'll see like the female person in the office is going to be the one who's organizing Secret Santa, who's going to be the one getting other people coffee, taking notes in meetings, things like that. And someone could argue like, but she likes doing that or she's good at it. And that might be true. Like an individual might be good at taking notes or getting coffee or organizing Secret Santa. But again, we see this disproportionate conditioning of women doing the helping or the social roles within workplaces in general, and then it becomes even more pronounced in a male-dominated field. So you again see a woman who's not actually doing the work of the industry, but doing the helping or support work within that industry community. I think the world needs feminism because I really see a lack of consciousness around gender construction and gender ideology. And so what I mean by that is I really think we still exist in a space where we understand gender as really being a binary and something that's really dictated by like the physicality of our bodies. And I see feminism as being a tool or an opportunity to kind of trouble that and think not just about women, but about the social condition of gender and social positioning of gender. So feminism acts as an occasion to think about gender on a continuum and how different gender experiences are performed and understood. And so I'm thinking about we need feminism because there's more than one way to be a woman, there's more than one way to perform womanhood, and I see again feminism as an occasion to kind of celebrate this and encapsulate this, while also inserting opportunities for equity and access to resources in more of a liberal feminism sort of way. But I'm excited mostly about concepts of radical feminism and concepts of gender deconstruction. And I really feel like feminism in a lot of ways is a catalyst to sort of start that conversation. I think there's a myriad of problems that women experience in the workplace. And so we can think about these from like very literal, like everyday factual problems of women are still doing predominantly most of the care work within families, so access to childcare so they can get to work. Many jobs and offices still kind of work on a 9-to-5 schedule. So if we think about some of the stuff that Dorothy Smith has written, where she talks about like if the meeting's at 9 o'clock and school starts at 9:30, like we have the woman who is doing extra care work and having to take those extra steps to be active in that role at work. So some of the like ruling relations and discourse and extra care work that women have to do is a problem, as well as I still think that we carry around a lot of stereotypical ideology around women. And I don't necessarily know how to explain this or talk about this in ways that make sense. But I think what we've seen with like the onset of civil rights and human rights is a lack of blatant sort of like that disgusting, pernicious like Mad Men style, like 1950s overt discrimination, and we've now sort of moved into a more covert, sort of like systemic microaggression kind of discrimination. So we're looking at like discussions around dress and like what is professional and how are we taking up the female body within within the workplace. So like cleavage and things like that, and different constructions of what is understood as professional, what is understood as right. I think that especially as a woman entering into the workplace, so often ageism and sexism I find are interlinked. Of the younger woman in the office is chastised for like what she's wearing, or made to like understand what professionalism is, and I find that frustrating. However, I'm also cognizant of there's still economic issues and some of the more traditional or constant discussions of female discrimination in the workplace. So women are still making less than men, women are still struggling to get and hold jobs, things like that. So if you were interested in doing like some consciousness raising of your own or learning more, I'd really recommend, there's a Facebook group on the Facebook called the F Word, and they throw up a whole bunch of like different like feminist related posts, things like that. It's got a little bit more social critique, a little bit more nuance than say like an Instagram feed or Tumblr. So that's a great resource if you're looking for some like fast feminism. The book The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf kind of changed my life and how I think about beauty and relate to myself, so that's cool. And it's it was re-released in the 90s, and it's not, I'm not going to say it's an easy read, but it's a doable read. So if you got through grade 10 English, it's you can handle that book. There's another really interesting book. It's not an academic book, but it is called Female Chauvinist Pig, and it kind of talks about sort of more of the pop culture pieces of feminism. I can't remember who wrote it, but it kind of critiques like the phenomenon of girls gone wild and like access to education and some different things like that, and media imagery. So there's a lot of blogs and resources on the internet, and not all of them are awesome, but that's the same with anything. And so you're going to find some that you like and some that you don't, and your opinion's going to differ from person to person. Not all feminists feel the same on every issue, in the same way that not everybody feels the same on any sort of one thing. As well, there are many different perspectives within the concepts of like gender studies and feminism as well.